Incredible greetings, incredible greetings. Hello, 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 everyone. Incredible greetings. How are you guys doing? Ooh, excuse me. Alrighty. How are you guys doing? Incredible greetings, everyone. Welcome, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Let's make sure that we are on the right setting, which technically we are not. So we're going to fix that real quick. There we go. And that should make this pop up. All right, cool beans, cool beans. Let's go over here. Let's share it out. All righty. How is everyone doing? I'm just trying to get this all shared out. As soon as we get this shared out, we're going to get started. If you are watching the live playback, I'm sorry, not the live pack. If you're watching the playback of this, this is a live broadcast. There we go. So I do have to share it out, kind of, let the people get in the room before we get started. This is not a pre-recorded, teaching broadcast. So we are getting straight into it. I do have to share it out. The joy of you watching the playback of this, though, is you get to kind of skip ahead. So if you are watching the playback, you can skip ahead a little bit to get to the good part, the meat and potatoes. If you are live, just kind of bear with me a moment and we're going to get started. You guys can start dropping your questions in the chat. This is a live Q&A session. It is designed to help you guys with all of your questions, okay? All right. I need to share this out in one more spot. All right. All right. So welcome in, everyone. So in today's live session, this is your opportunity uh, where I will, what's the word? Oh God, I have a whole brain freeze. Um, goodness. My whole brain is like not working. Okay, yeah. So this is your time to ask all of your crafting questions, designing questions, creative business, whether you are stuck on a project, if you need design tips, you just want you just need inspiration, you can drop it all in the chat. So I'm here to help you guys in real time. Okay. Hold on, let me do this. All right. So you're just going to drop your questions in the chat. You don't have to wait for like the next person to comment. So you can comment like as we're going, just drop it all like in the chat, guys. Okay. I'm going to do my intro. And I just want to got food stuck in my tooth. So give me a second. I'm going to try and answer as many questions as possible. All right. No question is a dumb question, silly question. So don't be shy. Drop them in the chat. All right. All right, so let me get started. And like I said, you guys will be able to start posting your questions in the chat. No questions too big, too small. I'm just going to try and answer out as many questions as possible. Ooh. All right. Okay, so let's get this official intro going, and let's get started. Okay, so I am Shakia Lavelle, also known as Shakia the Professor. Our company is HS Ink 365. We are the home of the Auntie Speaking brand of products. We carry sublimation paper, sublimation ink, pigment ink. So if we sell it, that lets you know I know a little bit something about sublimation. And then pigment ink is like your regular ink that you would use for like regular projects. Like we just did a class on like cards and things of like that nature. So that's, you can use your pigment ink to make cards and things of that nature, cut out stickers, labels, tags, all that kind of good jazz. Pigment ink is just like your regular ink. It's made for specific printers. Like you can't really just put it like in any printer, but the great part about it is it's water resistant. So it doesn't run when it gets wet like dye-based ink does. So definitely check that out if you have a pigment ink printer. Our bottles are 140 milliliters. So it goes a really, really long way. And even if you don't have an eco tank style, you can get our syringes and needles and use that to fill up your tanks. Or if you do have a tank like the Canon TC20, which is a 24-inch one, it's a tank-based printer, but the bottles are different. So you can use syringes and needles to either just go straight into the tank, or you can use the syringe and needles to fill their bottles, and then you can put that on there. But you can use our pigment ink. I use it with my Canon TC20. All right. We are also the home of Silhouettes Anonymous. That is where I've been teaching guys how to use Silhouette Studio, Silhouette Cameo machines for 10 years. I love that system. So any questions that you have in regards to it, if you have issues with printing cuts or just cutting wrong, designing in Silhouette Studio, any of those things, you're more than welcome to ask those questions. I am well versed in Canva, Photoshop, branding, marketing, all those good things. So this is your opportunity. Somebody probably has the same questions that you have. There might, so hopefully we find some folks that's not too scared to ask the questions, because somebody probably has the same question that you have. They're just a little afraid to ask, but don't be shy. Ask your questions. I am here to help you. Could I come on and just kind of like I did this morning? If you missed my video this morning, we talked about copyright and trademark I want to see what the view count is on this video, because I know I have it open somewhere. Okay. So when I saw the video, it was at 20,000 views. Someone just sent it to me again, and it went from like 52 to like 53,000. Right now, this video is sitting at nearly 60,000 views, and she just posted it yesterday, and it was about some people getting sued for using Creative Fabrica. And I talked about that this morning and understanding that there's really not, like, some people are in an uproar. There's discourse in the chat because they feel like Creative Fabrica should do something about it. They should change this. That some people have said that they feel like it's false advertisement, it's deceiving, it's in their wording and messaging and how that line is. So I talked about that this morning. If you haven't checked that out, go over to our Honestly Speaking YouTube channel and check out that replay on all things when it relates to trademark and copyright infringement, especially if you are somebody that is using Creative Fabrica for the elements and backgrounds and files and things like that. Or even if you use sites like designbundles.net, if you're using Canva, even if you're using Etsy, and just kind of get an idea of how you can protect yourself and, why is it that there are elements on there that you could be like legal actions can be taken against you if you're using those elements and you're paying them a subscription each month. So definitely check that out. Okay. So yeah, check that video out, and we're just ready to get started and answer any questions that you guys may have. All right. So let's see here. Let's say hello to a few folk first. So hello, Carol. How are you, Aquisha? Aquisha, girl. Okay, so I saw the one you did for somebody's birthday that was like red and black, but not you turned the it's gonna come to me. Not you turned the game board into a Valentine's Day one. Girl, I was like, she changed the background and stuff. You better work, girl. Yeah, that's my student. She doing the thing. I was like, yes. Literally right before I went live, I saw it in your stories. And I'm like, okay, I gotta talk to her later because I got to go live. Miss Ma'am, girl, and you changed the colors too. Girl, I was like, yes. Hey, you doing it, girl? High five. Bam. Okay, so hello, incredible greetings. Rita, welcome. LJ Walker, hey, that's my city girl. Period. Patricia, how are you? Hey, Kat, I love what she says. Hey, Dean. Hey, Princess. I see your question. I'm going to come right back to it. Howdy. Hey. So I see another question there. Hello, I caught the replay. Good information. She said yes. Hello from Fresno, California. All right. So you just said answer questions. Yes, we're going to answer some questions. So I do see one. I see two questions here. You don't have to wait. Get those. Let them be in the queue so we can boom. Go. Tag a friend. Guys, at least say hello. That helps the algorithm and pushes it out so other people can find the broadcast and they can get their questions answered. So don't be stingy with the knowledge, okay? Like, go ahead, share it out. Let them get that help. You may not need help, but somebody else does. And they don't know that I am on live because the algorithm isn't pushing it enough. So you guys, I need y'all to hit and smash those like buttons. If you're on YouTube, click out of the live chat temporarily, give the video a thumbs up so that it comes up on people's feeds and their, I'm about to say For You page, like this was TikTok. It comes up just like in their Facebook feed and like at the top of their page. If you're on Facebook, give the video a like, tag a friend, share it out, all the good stuff, okay? So let's see. The question here, how long do you keep an order after you reached out to the client for pickup? More than 3 times. So at that point, if it's something that is a like customized item, you can't really do anything with it. When they don't come and pick it up, this is a prime time for me to kind of hold on to that. I now know that this is a finished product. This is when I would be able to really take great pictures. Like if you didn't take pictures of it at different backgrounds, different angles, different distances, baby, it's yours now. Okay. So if they didn't come, now hopefully, I mean, they paid for it and they didn't come pick it up. It's like, all right, cool. Now, if you didn't get your money, for it, you just kind of have it. Now use that for marketing purposes. Use that to create a bunch of different content around it. Showing it in different ways. doing voice, like showing it, like if it's something that can be used, show it in different ways, put voiceovers. Now it becomes a part of your business and you use it for content because it is something that is completely finished. You can go and pack it, unpack it to do, if you didn't have time when you made it to make a video, like just kind of ASMR and like packing it up, baby, now it becomes a part of your marketing. And when they want to come, you don't prioritize time now. So they go and say, they're ready to come pick it up. You give them a time that's convenient for you. If that's a week later, oh, well, they should have come and get it then. But for me personally, it is now going to go into the marketing bin. And that is what I can use to create content. I have a small printer. So how can I make all over shirts? Now, I don't recommend it if you are planning to sell them, because you are giving someone where it's just pieced together and there can be a lot of imperfections. However, you can do it, especially if you just want to kind of try it out, things of that nature. You can use the small format printer. The best way to do it is to take several sheets and tape it together. I would use 8.5. This is the time where 8.5 by 14 is the paper that you need to have available. Okay. Go onto our website and get you some 8.5 by 14 inch paper if all you have is 8.5 by 11. Most people think that their printers can't print like bigger than 8.5 by 11. All Epson printers can print up to 47 inches long. So what you want to do is take your, either if you can use your 8.5 by 11, but 8.5 by 14 works a little bit better because it's less sheets, but you want to pre-tape them together. So overlap them about a quarter of an inch. Get you some painter's tape, not masking tape, preferably painter's tape. Tape that down. Don't use the heat tape. Tape that down, and you want to put, several of them together. In your print settings, you can change the length to 47, and you're going to then split it up. Now, I don't know which program you use. Can you tell me which design or what program do you print from? So I print from Silhouette. In my class for oversized prints and things of that, like oversized prints, whether it's for a shirt, if it's for a rug or whoever. And I've also shown, like, not necessarily me breaking it up, but I have several videos where I've done towels and I show how they're pre-taped together. They all print out like as one, and then you tape them, you piece it together. But how you print that out, there's a couple different methods. If you're using Silhouette Studio, you bring it in as a picture, you can break it up. And then there's some other ways, but you're going to have to basically print that in sections. But with it pre-taped together, you don't have to break it up page by 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 page. You can set it up where it's one whole thing of pages pre-taped together. Then the next section pre-taped together. Print another 36, 47, whatever it is you print. And then you are piecing together those long sections. We sell sublimation paper rolls. We normally do them pre-order, which actually I need to do that so that they're here by graduation season. But you can also get sublimation paper rolls. You cannot put the whole roll in the printer and just let it print, right? You have to like pre-cut the sheets down up to 47 inches long, and you can do it that way and you don't have to piece it together. So there's a couple different options. We do have a class for oversized prints, and you can get all that information in that class. Because of you. Thank you. Incredible greetings. Great to have you on. Hello, hello, hello. Question: when is the meeting about the blueprint? Tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How do I save a design file I make in Silhouette to use somewhere else like Canva? Canva doesn't have an S on it, guys. So it just depends on, are you trying to use it? It depends. Okay. So first, let me ask the question. If you're doing it, if you're designing it and you're setting it up in Silhouette Studio, what are you wanting to take it to Canva to do? So you created, you started it, you did it in Silhouette Studio. What is it that you want to do in Canva where you're wanting to take this entire file and put it in Canva? What are you going to do with it when you get there? That's the first question, because then that determines like how you get it over there. Next question. I tried to trace a coloring page, but I could not fill in some areas with color. Could you tell me why? I looked to see if I had an open path, but I could not tell. That's what's going to be the reason. That there is an open path somewhere. So if you are not able, so can you tell me what the coloring page was that you tried to trace? Is it something that I can look up on Google and I can actually do a full demonstration? Or if you want, and you're at your computer, if you want to send me the file right now, like the exact file that you're using, even if it's the silhouette file that has like, you don't like, either you can send me the PNG or JPEG, or you can save the silhouette file and email it to me, the professor at hs365.com. And I can take a look at that. If you get that to me before I get off live, I can go and like look at your exact file. That's also a feature of the Creative Lounge. So while you have to kind of wait for that and wait for me to offer that in these live videos, those who are in my Creative Lounge have access to that type of help every single week, where they can this week we have Pro Call where it's all questions, but I always kind of ask, like, there's other general questions, like if somebody has like one or two and we can answer those, we have like an open kind of Q&A at the beginning of each session. And then we have our Pro Call that is just straight Q&A, where you can talk back and forth, share your screen, show the project that you're working on, get feedback, all of that kind of good jazz. So if you have not considered, if you have not enrolled in the Creative Lounge, I'm telling y'all, give it 1 month. 1 month, I mean, you can't lose with at least doing 1 month. A 1 month just try it out for 1 month is $36.50, and you have access to all of the playbacks that are there and any live videos that come up during that month that you are a part of the Creative Lounge. Okay, silhouette, what? I'm not sure. So I asked, you're going from, you said, save my design I make in Silhouette to use somewhere else like Canva. So you're wanting to create a silhouette. Is that what you're saying? Silhouette? You're wanting to create a silhouette of something, like just a filled in of an image. So what are we taking it to Canva to do? Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, Deidre, and welcome, welcome. If you have a question, feel free to go ahead and drop it in the comment section. I know I have so much going on to where I actually have not even been advertising the blueprint, because it's like so much stuff going on. Me working now with trying to do these resources for Zip Learning and all that. Like it's been a lot. So I haven't even like really been advertising the blueprint. When cutting stickers, the cuts tend to be less precise as the cut goes along. Unfortunately, the more things you have on there, it's not. There's nothing that I can really advise when it comes to that. That just kind of happens. I will say though, it's because of the tracking, which is one of the reasons why I like using Cricut mats and I calibrate them, because it tells me where to put that paper at, and it's less like, okay, how can I say it? When I calibrate it, because it's going down, as it goes down, the tracking starts to mess up around like 16 inches down. Like if I have like my 17 paper, it starts to shift like when the mat's going through it. So when I go and I calibrate and I have it doing that, it's accounting for that shift that it's making already. So when I put my paper down, it's technically already like slightly accounted for the shift. So I'll get slightly better cuts. If you're doing something that's just like 1 or 2 images, it's a little bit better. But if you are doing something that has like, it's full of them, like let's say you have 15 to a page, like it's just going down, as you get lower, it does, because even though you accounted for the tracking, that's like a straight line tracking. So the more that you do them, they do end up a little bit off. And there's no recommendation. There's nothing else. Like it's just, although they say that you can do it, it really just isn't ideal for like a 12 by 24-inch page. Like if you have paper or like a sticker sheet or even just like regular cardstock and it's a 12 by 24-inch, Silhouette Studio really is not ideal for that because their tracking sucks, to be honest. So unfortunately, I deal with that as well. I have no recommendation for that because I deal with it as well. All right. No other questions? As I said, like when I'm done with one, I want to move on to the next. I'm guessing Rita has left the building because I did not see a follow-up to it. So I want to be able to help you, but I don't see a follow-up. So calibrate. So when I say calibrating a mat, I'm not talking about their calibration. So what I mean by that is it's this, where I put my tape on it. I don't really use silhouette mats because one, they're too thin and they shift even more because they're super thin. I only use Cricut mats or like, you know, they have like the third party mats, they are thicker. So this is what I mean by like making it to where it's telling me exactly where it's going to cut. You can do this same thing on your silhouette mat. And it's good to do it on your silhouette mat because it's supposed to be perfect, right? If you put it down and it cuts the line, and if you notice that it's not lining up with the silhouette line and it's shifting, that lets you know that it is like shifting. So I do recommend doing this to silhouette mats as well. I have a whole video that talks about how to get this set up. So go, like you'll search Silaholics Anonymous. I think it says calibrate Cricut mat, or just search Silaholic Anonymous Cricut mat, and it will come up and you can do the same thing with a silhouette mat. So that's what I mean by calibrating. The actual calibration in their system is not that. That one don't work either. Yes, I have the video. So I have a workforce 7840 and 7720. Which should I make sub? Which should I make regular? So, I mean, technically, the 7820, the 7840 would be the better one, I guess you would say, to leave as a regular printer because you would be getting Epson cartridges. So was that your plan, was for one of them to use the genuine Epson cartridges, or with both of them, are you trying to use a refillable system? But if I had to choose, I'm like, because the 7840 is a regular pigment ink printer already. Yes, the ink is kind of pricey. Yes, the black ink kind of sucks, but it's hit or miss when it comes to using the refillable cartridges, and you have to change out the chips and all of that kind of stuff. And sometimes they don't read. So if anything, because you want to be able to use a third-party system, the 7720 is going to be the better one for a third-party system. And then you would use the 7840 as a regular printer, buying Epson cartridges. So technically, yes, our ink will work with it. We've had several people when it was a point where it was really hard to actually find, like everybody was out of stock of the F570. Those who use it did not say that they saw like a significant difference. Some people say that the blacks were actually better with our ink versus theirs because theirs has a blue undertone. So when you press it to certain things, it shows up as blue, like, you know, in certain lighting. So some people preferred our black ink instead of the Epson black Sublimation ink because it has, like I said, it has a blue undertone to it. It is Sublimation ink. It won't void your warranty because technically it looks the same. So we have had several people that have used our ink when they could not get the Epson Sublimation ink. That's not really a conversion. We do kind of advise that it's not the exact same formula. You might see a difference in color, but like when you look at them both side by side, like in their respective like bottles, it's not a significant difference. So some people have used it without any issue. So you technically can use our ink in it because it is still sublimation ink. It's not a conversion. So I don't recommend doing refillable ink for regular ink for the 7840. Most people will use refillable cartridges because they're trying to change the ink and use it a different way. If you use refillable cartridges, please remember that the 7820, 7840, 7310, the chips are not stable for those printers. You can go and you can get a set of chips and they're brand new to you, but when you put them on the cartridges, it will say cartridge not recognized because it's not made or it hasn't been programmed for that firmware. Epson has been notorious for updating the firmware for those printers. So whether you're using as regular ink or sublimation, using a third-party cartridge, a refillable one, you can keep refilling the cartridge, but the chip will run out of prints. It can be, you could just, like you've been printing, the ink, the physical ink got low, you filled it all up, and guess what? You print 3 more times, it says X cartridge not recognized. There is no resetting it. The 7720, so that those use what's called a 252 cartridge. That can be reset. The 812 cartridges cannot. So no matter what, even though you can keep refilling it with ink, you have to keep changing out the chip. What a lot of people have resorted to is buying the actual Epson cartridges and taking the chips off so that they can use it as a sublimation printer. Well, that doesn't, now with those cartridges that you took the chip off of, they go in the garbage. You can't do anything with them. They do not work without the cartridge. You cannot pull the ink out of them. So they literally go in the garbage. So if you need a regular printer, you want to use the 7840 and you're not going to use a refillable system. You will have to buy Epson cartridges. The regular cartridges, they don't last very long, especially if you're printing in settings like premium matte, photo glossy, satin. They use up a lot of ink. So those $13.99 cartridges, which are your standard, they don't last for a lot of prints. You would be better off getting the XL, which they are about $36, $37 per cartridge, but they do last a lot longer. Is it way more expensive than the refillable system? Absolutely. But that's the only way to guarantee that the printer actually works. Yes, they are. It requires, especially with trying to get one of the pens out, there's videos on it. It's not like an easy process. You have to make sure that you remember the order that it goes in because you're pulling everything out. When you put it back in, it has to go in. You have to make sure that all the cords are out of the way. It is I'm not saying it's hard, but it's a very technical process. Unfortunately, Kara, like for you, I'm going to say try and find someone that can fix printers and have them do it. But to do it on your own, it's very easy to mess it up. I know that you're trying to save your printers. You don't you want them to work, but you've gone through like so much with it. And if you go and you get this print head and you go through that process, like it is a very technical process. There's a certain order that you have to take things out. You have to unscrew a lot of things. And then when it comes to, you have to make sure like it's like technically putting one of the pins in upside down, like how you have to put it in there. It has to seat properly. If you put it in there and it's not seated properly and it actually goes through the cycle, it's going to mess it up and you're going to get a permanent error. So have a professional if you want to do it. Yes, it's going to be like you're almost paying full price for this printer. For most print shops, to go through the process of fixing it. They're going to charge you for the part unless you're going to get one and take it to them. And then for the labor of doing it, because they're going to charge you because you have to, it's a delicate process. So you may end up having to pay $200, $300, sometimes even $400 for them to get that back going. You have to ask yourself, is it worth it? I know you want to really, really, really save this printer. You've been working on these printers for a really, really long time. That's the unfortunate part. You can't control it when printers just stop working. You just have to have a plan in place to replace it. So if you want to keep trying, so Lamont's saying, he had to work it to get it back. I mean, she's been working on that printer a lot. She's done flushing it with, cleaning solution, pushing it. I just don't think that hers is going to ever come back online. But I mean, if you want to keep it around and just keep trying every couple of weeks, keep trying to push air. I mean, Carol, you can, but I mean, I've exhausted all possible help that I can give you when it comes to that, outside of taking it to find a professional that fix printers in your area and have them change out the print head. But if you want to attempt it yourself, there are videos online that teaches you how to change a print head out, or that demonstrates how to print it out. So what's a good large format printer for Pigment ink? Do you have a specific budget in mind? Do you have a specific budget in mind when you ask that question? Because that will determine my answer to you. If you are just coming on, I asked a question, so I'm just waiting for that response. This is why I love Creative Lounge. I don't have to wait for that typing part. They're able to unmute, and like I say something, they say something. They're normally unmuted while we're dialoguing back and forth. I really don't want to spend more than $700. I don't have an option for you, technically. So the next one up for me would be okay, so I do have an option for you. I personally don't care for how the prints come out when you use cut sheets, right? So the next printer, like as far as like the true pigment ink printer that I'm going to recommend is going to be the Epson ET 16600 or 16650 printer. All right. They are $1,000 print. Like those are $1,000 printers. So $1,000 or $1,100. That's, and they're eco tank printers. They're humongous, but that's going to be the next best thing as far as a pigment ink printer. The workforces, you're never going to see me recommend. The 7820, 7840, 7310 are workforce printers. I'm never going to recommend them. I think that was like the worst thing that Epson ever made with those printers. Their black ink sucks. It scrapes off. It smears. I know in the beginning, because it came out, I'm thinking that it was going to be like the 7710, 7720. So yes, I did have videos where I got them. I got one that, I moved it out of here. That was sitting here. It's a paperweight. I have the 7820 and the 7840, and they are both paperweights. I cannot do anything with those particular printers. I don't even use them technically for regular printing because one, they print too slow and I can't stand the black ink. So I don't even use it as a regular printer. Like I said, they are paperweights at this point. And I probably just need to throw them out. So I can't recommend those, right? And those are like less expensive. The Eco Tank is going to be the next best one. Now, if you have the space, because a stand does not come with it, you have to, so I have like these shelving things and I have it on that. So you'll have to buy an additional stand for it or have a really large table for it to go on. It is the Canon TC20. You don't need the TC-M20 or TC20M. that has like the scanner and all that stuff. You don't need that one. So there is a Canon TC20. It is a 24-inch wide printer. The cut sheets, like putting like an 11 by 17, the colors come out totally different than when you put the roll. That's one of the things that I did notice. I don't really care for the way the color comes out when you're doing cut sheets. The color is beautiful on the roll. The issue, however, is it is not like most wide format printers where it uses a 3-inch core. Most paper is going to come on a 3-inch core. It is made just for a 2-inch core. So you are very limited in the paper choices that you have that is on a 2-inch core. There are adapters, they may work for a little bit and then they don't work because it cannot grip. So while I have that printer, it works for certain papers. Like I have a paper that's on a 2-inch core. It's a matte paper. It works great for that. But my glossy paper, I always have to fiddle with it. It's not great for that. So I've used a TC20 and like, that's why I'm always hesitant to kind of like mention things like, because I like to really use it for a while and figure out where the issues are. So I did do the video where I showed it. There's a lot of people who just kind of found it and they found that I have when they asked me questions about it. There are issues with it. Like, so I have one. Is it like my favorite? No, if I'm being honest. After that, it would be looking into the actual Epson 24-inch wide format printers that are Pigment ink. But they use a cartridge. They're not tank base. And those cartridges can get kind of pricey. So the 7720s were the best ones for Pigment ink. Now you're going to have to invest in coins. Oh, in your area, no one fixes them? Yeah, then nothing else I can really, no other advice I can offer you. And nobody else is really either. I know I kind of see you kind of posting in the different groups. If we're being honest, there's no, I don't mean to sound cocky, but there's no other craft group that specializes in printers. Like, so you're not going to get any question more, like any answer better than like the ones that I give you and as detailed as I give you and like doing the push air. Because hell, half of them aren't even going to tell you that. They're going to tell you to just print purge files. That's going to do nothing for you. So I know that you really, really want to fix and you're looking and you're pulling out strings for somebody, anybody, help me, tell me. Your print head, I knew from before, your print head is gone. Once you did that many like push airs and stuff, your print head is gone. It is gone. It is gone. It is gone. So it's going to take change that. If you can't find someone locally, you can try it yourself. It doesn't, only thing that you're going to lose out on is paying for the print head, which is only around it's less than $30. So that's $30 more that you will have to invest in it, that it may or may not work for you. But if you want to give it a try, it'll be like $30, like a $30 investment that you're making to get that print head. You'll watch the video and then attempt to go ahead and change it out yourself as a last resort if you want to go that route. But there's no fixing it outside of having that replaced. How do you sign up for the Creative Lounge? So there is a link in the description of this video. I will post it. Is it in the description? I don't know, but I will post it just in case it's not there. Or you can go straight to the Academy site and you're going to, and I'll take you guys over there. So let's go to the Academy site. I'm going to go to the lounge, copy. Okay. I'm going to drop this in here. That will take you right to the lounge page, but I'm going to go present, share, entire screen here and share. Okay. So here, if you go to all courses, you have to go to page 2. And this right here, the purple one, you're going to click on that and you're going to go to the bottom, and there's a lot of different payment options. You can set it up where it automatically comes out month to month. Your first month will be $45.63. Each month thereafter will be $25.63. If you, and that, like, that's automatic coming out of your account. You have to use a bank card, or like you have to use your debit card, credit card, things of that nature. You cannot use like PayPal for this. Some people wanted PayPal, so we added the others. If you want to do month to month, you can do $36.50 for each month. And you have to go in every time it ends and your subscription ends, you have to go back in and do redo it for another month. There is a 1 year option. There is a quarter to quarter. So you would do this and it's not automatic. So you would try it that way, paying $83.65 for 3 months, and you'll have it on. Once that 3 months is over with, if you want to renew it again, you have to manually do it. But that does give you options like Klarna Afterpay. If you do the $265, you get Affirm. And then this one is like a reoccurring, like it'll do it every year, which, I mean, I really don't, I can do it where, it'll automatically renew like in a year. And then this one, it will automatically renew every quarter. So you save $10 by doing an automatic renewal. So there's a couple different options there for you to sign, but it's going to be on page 2, or use the link to go right to the Creative Lounge. And I will show you, like, these are all of the things that we have gone over so far. I'm going to go here. Oh, wait, why the new one isn't on here? Wait a minute. Did it not? Oh, they didn't load up. Okay, so the Creative Challenge did not upload. Okay, I got to go and do that one because we just did the cards and stuff. I put it to upload. I'm not sure what happened, but these are all the things and stuff that's there in the Creative Lounge. But the Creative Challenge for this month, for some reason, is not showing on there yet. Okay, so, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh no, you did X ink. Okay, so our paper roll, when we have them, yes, our paper roll was made specifically for the F570 when it comes to the 24-inch. Because when we first did it, we did not realize, because I don't have an F570, and we did all of them at like 300 feet, and it did not fit. You people had to like rewind them and stuff, like, split them up. But now we sell them in 100-yard rolls, and that will fit the F570. Those, though, we no longer just carry them ready to ship. You have to do it via a pre-order. Although I'm not sure if we are sold out now. I know at one point even had put some back on the website because we had some extra, and we found it when we were doing inventory at the end of the year. We found some rolls that was like at the bottom of a pile, and I thought he put them on there. If he did, and now we're saying sold out, that means that they're sold out, and you have to wait for me to. But I have so much going on that I have not set up the next round of pre-orders for it. But it does take a long time. When you do the pre-order, you're going to be waiting like 3 months because we leave the pre-order open for a month, and then it takes 8 to 10 weeks because it has to be shipped via sea. Should I try DTF or outsource? If it is your first time, I highly recommend that you outsource it. DTF it requires a lot of maintenance. It requires a lot of babysitting. Even when you have this, like, especially if you're going to convert, it requires a lot of babysitting. If you're going to get a true DTF printer, some of them have automatic agitators in it. If not, there's certain things that you have to do, but it takes a lot of work for those printers if you don't have the workload. And by workload, by no means am I saying, oh, you're going to sell transfers. Not everybody that gets a DTF printer has to automatically go into selling transfers. If you are somebody where you are doing a lot of shirts and your shirt workload is like, it's a lot, it's really heavy for what you're doing, having your own DTF printer can help you like facilitate doing your own shirts. Everyone that has one is not like, again, you don't have to sell transfers, because then you have, like, sometimes people will blame you if you're not familiar with how to set it up and using the RIP software, using Photoshop, setting your channel, all those different things. And then when you get them, the colors are off, like they tend to want to blame you, and you have to be ready for that. If you're not ready for people complaining about, okay, it's a color off, is this, is that, why you didn't show me this, and why you didn't fix this file, why you didn't tell me that, the color, the size is small. If you're not ready for that, then don't sell custom transfers. Now, if you want to get DTF because you have certain designs and they're designs that you want to use and you want to print them out and provide those ready to ship transfers, so you want to start your own transfer business with designs that you have created and you're not doing anything custom, sure, go ahead, try it out. But make sure that you do a lot of research. It's probably better, like when you see people, like let's say like A-Dub, he has a DTF print. He has a couple of them and he sells transfers. Like, so that's like the Racoma one. You may want to see how that prints out. You have Highly Flavored and he has some, and he has more of a converted one. You may want to see how their colors come out. Send the exact same print to everybody and see how those colors come back. And that will also help you see that DTF is not universal and the colors will vary. It is going to allow you to see that if you don't know what it means to convert it to CMYK, you're going to design yours in RGB. You're going to send it to them. They have to automatically convert it to CMYK. It's going to come back to you and your colors are going to be off. You need to learn all of these things about the design process, the color process, the printers. Make sure that you are doing all of that research before you go out and get this printer so that it doesn't become a big paperweight. Okay. Let's see. It looked like the summation business is slow. We gotta keep it going. Not really. Like, I mean, there's some, it all depends on what it is that you're trying to do. So what's the new hot item out for sublimation? I don't believe that there's ever like a new hot item. And that's where the issue comes in at, right? If you are running your business where you're looking for like the next hot item for something, that means that you're just working with trends. And once that trend is over with, then yes, business becomes slow for you. But if you build your business around a specific thing, like I know of several people who do a lot of like photo panels. When it comes to sublimation, they're doing photo slates and that business is like booming for them. They don't have to switch to every trend. Some people who specialize in memorials, so there's a lot of different things that they can put these memorial like type designs on. Gift to Hands by Javaya, she has buttons that you can use. They can be used as memorial ones. She has the ones for like graduation. So if your business is about creating something and then you can use sublimation to provide those creations, business will never be slow for you. But if you are doing your sublimation business based off of what is currently trending and what's the hottest item, yes, you're going to experience more, like your ebbs and flows are just going to keep, it's going to keep going like this. And you're going to see more slow periods than you do, because now you have to like every single time promote this new item versus just promoting your business and what it is that you provide. There's a lady that does like magnets for the refrigerator. It's nothing, no designing. They're sending their picture. She's setting it up for the square size. She prints them all out. She does a little thing to punch the hole in, and she has like a little machine that makes the stickers. She puts the magnets on it. You can do that same thing with sublimation. So I wish I had it. I wish I had an extra one with me, but I did like these. Some people went on a cruise, so I put like their name and stuff like that on it. I've done pictures and things on these, so they are a little bit thicker than like the one that she has. But if you wanted to start that business and you're like, okay, well, I have sublimation, I don't really have the money to go get that big old machine that she has, you can sell refrigerator magnets, and it's just another. It's this magnet piece is sticky. Just like hers, she has it, it makes it. She still has to take off the little sticky part and put it on there for the magnet. You can do that with this. It comes in it's MDF. They come in so many different sizes. So that's just up to you. Like Sublimation is not dead. It's just dead for the people who want to stay on, like who want to keep doing trends. I always have a way to make money via sublimation. Yes, son.
Did you give me a bath?
No, I did not give you a bath.
Huh?
No. What do you mean?
You gave me a bath?
No, I didn't give you a bath. You need to go take a bath.
Oh.
Let's see. Have you used the Caesar cutter? I have not used it for print and cut yet. I mean, my silhouette works, so I just have not bothered to figure that out because it's like it's more versatile because like you can have your registration marks anywhere and you go and have it find it. But I will say I have not used my Romeo for print and cut yet at all. Yeah, I have not. Well, this is where they're giving you trouble. Like, this is where you guys post to the group. Let me see, like, let's see what's going on with them, like what the actual issue is. Someone says they found a T2170 around Christmas for 600 and they love it. So what was it? And that is the one, like I said, that was the one I was referring to. It does require cartridges. It's not a tank base. So I did say that, like, you know, there were the ones that you could use, but they are cartridge based. So you do have to, you know, buy the cartridges for those. Hello, I have a question. I have the Workforce 7720 and hear about the chip to bypass the ink cartridge not being recognized. Can you recommend one? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You're saying a chip to bypass the ink not being recognized. Not sure what you mean by that. So there is what's called a chip resetter that you can purchase, and it allows you to manually reset the chips. So with the 7720s and what's called the 252 cartridges, most times those are auto reset chips, which means once it runs down, so you're not going to be able to stop that from not, or actually, no, to bypass it, you might be referring to the chipless firmware. And that is basically a computer type setup where you have to get this like firmware and then you have to plug your printer in and download that firmware where it won't look for ink. There's pros and cons to that because it's going to always show your status as full. You're not going to know when your ink is low because there is no indicator for it being low. So you might just go printing and forgetting that you got that chipless firmware. And now it goes to where your cartridge is completely empty. And now you're having issues. You're going to have the streaks. You're going to have breaks. Now you got to push air because you've introduced air into the line because there was no ink flowing. So chipless firmwares can be, I mean, okay for some, but you have to make sure that you stay on top of it. If your cycle is to refill your cartridges, if you don't print a lot, refill your cartridges every single week. If you are printing a lot and you go through the cartridges very fast, you may have to refill them or top them off every single night. So it's going to take a lot more babysitting when you have the chipless firmware, if you're going to install that. But as far as the chips themselves, there is something called a chip resetter. So naturally, when the cartridges get low, well, your ink level is going to go, okay, let me, I've always explained this, so I'm going to get kind of technical right here, okay? So the way cartridges work, every single printer, not just Epson printers, there is nothing that weighs. There's no weighted thing. There's no like little ball, anything like that, that tells it how much ink is in the actual cartridge. Technically, even for tank printers, there is nothing that tells the printer how much ink is in there. If you go right now and you fill like the Epson one's up. Now the Canon one is different because when you fill it up, it knows, like it has a weighted system in it. But like with the Epson ones, if you fill that up, if you don't go in and tell it that and reset it and say that you filled it, guess what? It's still going to read as zero, like low, even though you put ink in it. You have to tell it that you actually put ink in it. It will never know just by you putting the ink inside of it. The Canon TC20 is a little bit different. But any cartridge-based printer, it's not weighing it. A chip is what communicates with the printer. And it tells it like, okay, this is a standard one. So if we're doing 8.5 by 11 standard printing, we should have 200 prints. If you're now using a lot of glossy photo setting, premium matte photo setting, that cuts that 8.5 by 11 number of prints down from 2 to 300. So let's say if it was at 300, using either glossy or premium matte, because it triples up on the ink, that now takes that number down. It won't really like cut it in half, but like that might, well, it might cut that in half. It won't take it down by like, even though it's putting down like 3 times as much ink, it's not going to like cut it down by 3. You might now only be able to get 150 prints. Now, if it's a wide format and now you go from like, they're going to rate, they give you the rating, how long the ink will last or how many prints, that's off of 8.5 by 11 standard print. You now go to 11 by 17, even if you're using plain paper, that now goes from 300 to, you might have 150 prints because that's double like the paper, more like 200, like how it does that. You're using premium matte, you're now cutting that down because now you have a longer paper that you're putting more ink on, even if it's like in like, it's spread around, it's not a whole page. So as it's doing that, it's like it stores how many prints I have based off of the prints that you're doing, the settings that you're doing. And it's going to go low, like keep going low and low and low. So that ink level is just kind of a guesstimate based off of, hey, if this is a full cartridge and you've done this many prints, your ink level should be somewhere around like here. That is how the chip works. The chip just communicates it. So once that number of prints reaches 0, the chip says either cartridge empty if it's a genuine cartridge, or if it's a refillable cartridge or third-party cartridge, it says an X and cartridge not recognized. So let's say your cyan and your yellow were both like that. You had the yellow sign, like it's getting low, right? It's telling you the warning, it's getting low. You go and you print something has a lot of blue. The cyan now goes out, right? It's showing an X. If you just take that out and put it back in, that cyan will set, it will automatically reset to full. Even if you did not put more ink in it, when you take that cartridge out and put it back in, that indicator on the printer and even on your computer is going to say that it's full. You got to make sure that you remember to top it off. That yellow that was also low does not change because that has not reached 0 yet. So you're going to put the cyan in, it's going to go through the initializing process and the print head cleaning process, and you're going to go print. You're going to go send that print. Guess what? It's going to stop again. It's going to tell you, hey, now the yellow is out. And you're going to go through that process every single time, color for color for color, and they're going to go out at different times. What the chip resetter allows you to do is reset them all at one time. If your cyan is low, even if your yellow, magenta, and black were fine, that they were only a little bit, go ahead and reset them all to where they all start fresh. That is what a chip resetter does for that printer. It does not work for the 7820, 7840, 7310. So I know it's like, you're talking about that. Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Mine keeps running out. I have the 7820, 7840. Not going to work for those printers. It only works for certain, and it's more so the old school Epson workforce printers and even some expressions. So chip resetters, we used to sell them. Most people, like lately, a lot of 77 workforce users have been coming and they've been finding us. But for our general, like who we were really serving, like they had all moved on to EcoTank. So we stopped carrying them. I keep saying I'm going to bring them back, but then I'm like, man, I'm so scared of having these chip resetters and they're just going to sit here. You can check on Amazon to see, sites and stuff that have them, because we don't carry them anymore. Don't know. I mean, I keep saying I want to bring them back, or I might do like a pre-order for them, but I don't know because I just don't want to be stuck with a bunch of chip resetters just because people have asked, and it's like, because hell, y'all asked for the rolls. Y'all asked for tacky paper. We went and we ordered all that paper, or we put the pre-order out and y'all went cricket. Y'all went ghost. So I'm not looking to have money just sitting and like just wasted. So Chip resetter, check Amazon. One of these days I might, when my chip resetter breaks, my tooth, that's when I might order some more. So I would say pray for my chip resetter to break so I can order more, because I never ordered just one, but mine is still going and I have two. So don't know when we'll get more. Hey, just say. Oh, hello, baby. He needs some focus in his life. You heard her. You need to go ahead and get that focus blueprint to help you niche down. Tell him again, Aquisha, he needs some focus in his life. Our focus blueprint. It's available on the website. We have a meeting tomorrow. Get the focus blueprint. You get the Zoom link to be able to attend the orientation tomorrow. She said, she said, let me stay focused. Now, okay, now, technically, okay, I'm gonna be a really bad professor and a really bad mentor, because I know you're trying to stay focused. But if I'm being real honest, that is something that you need within Q3, and what your niche is. You might want to holler at them, friend. Might want to holler at them. I'm telling you, you might want to holler at them. I know you're trying to stay focused, but that actually aligns with what you want to sell. Just saying. You can get a couple of them. Try it out. Get you a couple of them. I got almond from my Hershey stuck in my tooth, and it's driving me crazy. All right, so would you recommend a rolling B20 instead of one? I'm always going to recommend a roll-in over converting an eco solvent, because when you convert for an eco solvent, all you can do is printable HTV. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot do printable vinyl. That little fake stuff that is like the printable vinyl sheet, that's not real vinyl. You can do that with a regular printer. So there is one that's like this. This, when you buy it, it's called a printable vinyl. This is done with a regular printer. Okay, you don't need eco solvent. Now, true vinyl that you use like for yard signs or cutouts, like what I made. Let me grab these real quick. So these are made from my rolling B20. Same way I make yard signs. You see that shine and the way that looks and the way that ink is, baby, that ain't this. Them not the same. Okay. This type of vinyl you cannot do with a converted printer. You cannot do this with a converted printer. His little head all jacked up, child. Hold on. I'm gonna put him here. Maybe it'll get some folk in the room where they can see these. We're gonna sit Minnie right there, and him and his little floppy head. Polar tank. Oh, he gonna. Yeah, this one got bent, so his neck is all out of whack. Hold on. I'm gonna fix his neck real quick so he can sit up. I'm put a little popsicle stick back there with a little tape so his neck can stop falling. Okay, so bam, there he go. He can stop falling now. So these are done with actual vinyl. That is where a rolling B20 would come in at for something like that. That's not printable vinyl that you would use, like the ones that you can actually use now, like with the converting one. Now there is some vinyl that you can use, like my girl Gifted Hands by Javaya, like Javaya from Gifted Hands by Javaya. She has like a Canon printer that's basically a pigment ink printer, and it uses, like, she has some recommendations for, because it's what's called an aqueous, like, so it's like basically a calendar vinyl, and her prints come out really, really nice with that. So if you can find that, you can use it. But again, you don't need a converted eco-solvent printer for that. That's just regular pigment ink that you would use for that particular material. But if you want them like this, you have to use a true Roland BN20. You cannot convert it. Okay. So a bigger sub printer, that's up to you. I personally don't have a need for even a 24-inch sub printer. I am team small when it comes to sublimation. I don't like doing the big items. I really don't like doing sublimation shirts, truth be told. I like smaller keepsake type items. That's what I originally got into sublimation to do cheer bows. So I've never been do the big projects when it comes to sublimation. Anything small, I'm here for it. I love mugs. I love tumblers. Of course, my cheer bows. I love like keychains and lanyards and things of that nature. All that big stuff, I really don't enjoy doing. So I personally don't have a real need for a large one. Some people like it and they want to be able to do all of the prints with just 2 prints versus 3 or 4 or 8 or 12 if you're doing individual sheets. So that part, I cannot say to you whether you should get a sub printer, because I don't know what your needs are, what your preferences are. But for what I do, if I was to get a large format printer, it would be more work for me. Because like if I'm doing like a tumbler, instead of just printing to 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 14, I now have to print all of these, set all of this, like preset all of this stuff up, print it out. I got to cut them all down individually. I print it out, I do one cut, I wrap that sucker and keep it moving, shawty. So for what I do, even a 24-inch printer would be overload. Like it would be overkill for what I do. So you have to decide for yourself if you need a larger format sublimation print, especially if you're one that wants to do really do larger items. No, we don't. Again, same thing. We kind of stopped carrying them. We like, if someone has a pigment ink printer, we do have some pre-filled sets because we pre-filled them, and those have been sitting in, like, that kind of is aggravating too, because those could have been used for other stuff. So people have been buying the quick start kit and the pre-filled with pigment ink from us, but we don't have any empty cartridges because we just don't want them to sit. Leonardo Design Space print and cut is awesome. I love it. I haven't used my Cameo in a while. I have a Romeo. I tried to do print and cut with my Cameo and my cuts be off. I calibrated it looking at your video. This is where I'm telling y'all keep saying, okay, my stuff is off, but that's on y'all. Like you can either set up a one-on-one session with me. Like, it's going to cost you to get, but it's better for you to either pay for the one-on-one session so we go through yours, figure out exactly what the issue is, because it might be user error for certain things and how you're setting it up. Or you join the Creative Lounge. Come to the sessions on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These are questions that you can ask. You show your machine. You show the print job that you were working on. You print it out. Let me see you go through the process of doing the print cut. Let me identify where the issue is. Monday is pro call. That's like where, like in the other sessions, when I do the Q&A, it's quick questions, like not like demos, ones I can kind of like just answer verbally, maybe a little screen share. But on pro call days, oh baby, if you got like a print cut question, let's have that ready to go. Let's look at your file. Let's set it up. Let's print that out. Let's put it on the mat. Let's go ahead and cut it. Okay, what happened? Is it your print setting? Is it your blade? Because there's a couple things that can cause it to be off. This is why you want to be in the creative lounge. That is the level of help that you get when you're in the creative lounge and you actually come to the Zoom sessions and open your mouth. Y'all got to get in the room, because you're just watching videos and trying to figure it out, and you're not good. Obviously, you can't figure it out on your own because you're still having the issue. So why not come get the help? In this platform, all I can do is just keep telling you, okay, this is what I do for print cut. This one, oh, well, I followed that to a T. It's still not working for me. Oh, that rhymed. So now you have to get with me where I can see exactly what you're doing. Book a one-on-one session. That's $50, $53.65 for an hour, or you can pay $25.60. Well, the first month will still cost you $45.63, so you're still saving some, but you also get all of the replays. You can go through all of those. You can join the live session. You'll still get 4 live sessions. So instead of paying $53.65 for one session, you can do the first month on reoccurring and pay $45.63 and then do the other months, or you can pay $36.50 for just 1 month. Come to the pro. Now, I only do those, like that type of helping, during pro call sessions. So for your print and cut, it will be during a pro call. So you can pay the $36.50. We got a pro call on Monday. And hey, once that's over with, you ain't got to pay no more if you don't do the reoccurring. But you have access to watch and view all of the content that's there. To me, that's a much better value than you paying me one time $53.65. I don't know. Sounds like a better value to me. I don't know why y'all not running to go join the creative lounge. It's when I refill the ink, I get a message. Okay, so you're going to get that. Refilling the ink has nothing to do with the cartridges. So you have to take it out. And when you put it back in, if it still shows an X and say cartridge not, so there's a difference between, so some people say it's not recognized, right? But it's not that it's not recognizing it. They'll put it in and they think that it's a problem when it shows the exclamation mark. The exclamation mark is telling you, I recognize that this is a 252 rated cartridge. It is compatible with this printer. It's not genuine, but it's compatible and you can use it. So if it's an exclamation mark, yes, it is going to tell you that it is not genuine. If it shows an X, that is different. If you take it out and put it back in and it's still showing an X, then there is something wrong with that chip. But an or you didn't get an auto reset chip, you got, or auto reset cartridge, because there are some people, some companies that still sell single use cartridges for those printers because they probably had an abundance of them. But when it first came out, they had single use cartridges, single use chips. Then they came out with the auto reset, and they have they came out with the continuous ink system first, and then the auto reset chips. So with those, you should be able to take it out, put it back in. If you take it out and put it back in and it does not, this is where I'm always saying have 2 sets of cartridges. You should not be operating with 1 set of cartridges. You need to have 2, because sometimes it's just a glitch with it, right? So if you have a second set, you put that in there, it goes, it's working. Once it's like working with a cartridge, normally when you put that one that wasn't reading in, even without using a chip resetter, it will actually reset itself. Okay. Or you can try a chip resetter, but filling it will never change that status. Okay. She said, see, I was thinking that. I got you, girl. I got you. I got you. I know, right? He needs some milk. His neck was broke. Yes, don't forget to like and share. My 15,000 done stopped working. I had it since 2017, so I just got a small one until I decide which way I want to go to keep from converting. To keep from, like, which way you want to, only option you have to not convert is to get either a Sawgrass or an Epson 570 if you want wide format. There's no other option outside of converting. That's it. Like if you're not going to convert, it's one of those or go 36 or bigger. Do you do 101 for the My Clouds? I brought one because of you, but I can't make sense of it. I can't get my files onto the cloud. So when you book your 101 session, it can be for anything. So it will be $53.65 for you to do the 101 session or join the Creative Lounge and bring that question to the next Pro Call session. But your 101 can be on your $53.65 will cover whatever you can get, whatever you can cover in 1 hour. Also, Essentials of Silhouette Studio, in the comment, there is one that says 30 live. That's the code. You can get 50% off of Essentials of Silhouette Studio when you use that code within an hour of this live ending. All right, last call for questions. Last call for questions. We've on for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Last call for questions. Cha-ching. I don't know what that was, but whoever that was, thank you for your order. Oh, someone just brought some 8.5 by 11 sublimation paper. Oh, wow. They have Ferrero Rochers at the Dollar Tree. Oh, wow.
Okay, let's try this.
All right. No other questions. Ow. Huh. That's very interesting. Oh, okay. She's asking them because I was like, that didn't make any sense. Someone was like, do you know the difference between a template and a digital download? But a template can be a digital download, but the answer on here didn't make sense, but okay. Let's see. Okay, I see some. Let's see. What do we need to have ready for the nothing? it's just going over. So this is not the support group. It's the orientation just to explain how to utilize it. So I'm just going over how to best utilize the focus blueprint. I'm jumping in, but how do you feel about AI designing, and do you do you do AI or teach it? I absolutely do not teach it. I'm not a big fan of it. My mom loves it. My mom creates little AI images all the time. Which for those, I kind of like some of the things that she kind of creates. It's not something that's a preference of mine. I don't like, so actually, okay, I'll say this, right? So this right here, actually, I'll show the shirt. So this one, I created some luggage tags for their dance bags. And so now they want it on a shirt, right? So this design right here, the way that I put it in, so it made it easy, and I did not have to draw these. I didn't have to go find ladies in different poses and different hair. So it's this one right here. I don't know why I grabbed this, but I can show this one. So this is AI generated because I was able to put that prompt in there where it was like a dance team. I told it like what color dresses and things of that nature. I wanted like the little splash thing behind it. And then it kind of had this circle because this part right here is actually the church's logo. So because I kind of did it, I then took this into Photoshop because there was like an extra arm, there was an extra leg on somebody. So I then took that into Photoshop to basically alter it. And then I also was able to add this, and it looks like the dancers are right in front of the logo. I would never be able to do this with AI because it doesn't do text correct, even with their logo. It's not going to take that, put it in there, put the dancers in front. So I had to be able to alter it and make it my own. So when I was trying to figure out like which images to use, I did them. I put the prompt in. There were several of them for her to choose from, and they chose the one that worked better. Like there's a lot of different, like some of them was like more colorful dresses and things of that nature. So for me, I'm going to use it for things something like this. Like I don't trying to find all of these images or someone that had these where they were ready to change the color of the clothes, and this would have been really hard to find all these different poses and even to create them. Would have taken forever. I would have had to charge them $500 for this design, right? And then, I mean, the splatters and all that stuff would have been easy enough to do, but it's more so like this part right here. And then, it already has the reflections. Could I technically create it? Do I know how to do that? Yes. But the design time on that would have taken forever. So I like to use prompts. The other thing that I use a prompt on is so I have this one, and where is the other one? I don't see the other Zippy character. So there's this one, and there is another one that I have, which this is basically, you know what? I'll pull it up like this. Hold on. So you can see both. You'll see that their faces are technically the same, but their outfits are different. Please hold while I find the image. Oh, come on. See all. Okay, you see that one? So he's in a totally different outfit, but that's him. So the poses are technically kind of the same. His outfit's a little bit different. I gave him a hat, things of that nature. I also have a version of this where he's sitting at a desk, right? So I used AI where it kind of gave me a general outline where I put in my son's feature, but I vectorized this. So I went in, I retraced it, I recreated as a vector image so that I can trademark it. I can do all this stuff because it's a character for another business venture or whatever. So I did, or copyrighted. So I did all of that. So I have him, he has long pants on, he's sitting in a chair. And so what the AI does is it put it in that position. So now when I go, I don't have to think to like fully draw it out and keep erasing and doing things. It's in that position. So I'm going to use it to recreate it, to have him positioned at a desk, to have him jumping over something. So that's how I use AI. But I'm going to just use it as a baseline to then actually create on top of it. It just kind of gives me the structure, their arm movements, their leg placement, if they're jumping, if they're sitting, if they're, recreating outfits. So it allowed me to be able to give him different outfits. So while the pants look kind of the same, his arms, but I put the armbands, his shirt is completely different, right? His shoes are, I think his shoes on here are technically like the same. His head position is different. This one is straight ahead, this one is to the side. So that's kind of how I use AI. I'm never using AI like how some people are using it, and they're creating these full designs where they want to have the background and they got a Tweety Bird looking like a thug with goals and this and the third. Some people will use it for that. My mom uses it, and she creates a lot of like really, really cool. Let me try and pull up one of the ones that she makes. And so like this was one of the images that she kind of created, right? So my mom is amazing, 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 amazing when it comes to prompts. She got her WD My Cloud. She just came and got the, because she has way too many of them. And then some people use them for really cute, realistic ones. Like this is another one. She's very, very fierce. In that one, I don't really feel like she's Valentine, but I mean, you know, she's real sexy. Now, this is one I really do love. I love her hair on it. So if you were to draw all that out, so we like to use them where we will create, like get little elements and then you can mix them. So this was her trying out different things from our card class that we did. My mom became a student of mine. And so she's literally been creating all of these different cards from what she learned in my card creating class. So she's just been playing around with, ooh, that was cute. Oh, baby, now that image is fierce, honey. I'm telling y'all, when it comes to these, my mother is the bomb.com with her prompts. Okay. So stuff like that. And then now it can be used as I can turn that into a bookmark. I'm just not one that uses it to create like these full backgrounds that like people are doing. I don't do that. I don't necessarily teach prompts because I'm all like, I don't have like some people when they're wanting to get certain things, like they're like it's certain keywords prompt. I know exactly what I want and how I'm trying to create it, and I'm just going to put that prompt in, and I just know to be very descriptive about what it is that I want. So I will use that. You can also use Chat GPT. If you're not quite sure how to generate a prompt, you go into Chat GPT, you tell it exactly what it is that you're looking for. You know, how the look of it, you want it to look realistic in 3D and this, that, and the third. You want it to be colorful. You want, and you tell it, generate a prompt that I can enter into an AI image generating platform, and it's going to give you the prompt. You take that prompt, you take it over to Bing, you take it over to Midjourney, and it will give you different results. So I use it, but I will say I'm not using it how a lot of other people are using it. And I really don't care for, I mean, like some of them come out really, really good. There are some people that do some really good ones. Girl Tay Martin, over from All Things Canva and Crafting Babes. She does really, is it her or is it the other admin? They do really well with like making them look like realistic. And those type ones like can be used for flyers, and like they'll have one that look like wig models and stuff like that. They do really good with those like as place settings for like templates and things like that that she creates. I don't do all that. Like when I'm doing it, it's for like a specific thing like this. I did some like monster trucks, things like that. So that's kind of how I deal with AI. Yes, Mama does a great job with them. So we've talked about like AI and talked about like Chat GPT in the Creative Lounge. So I don't like teach it like as a standalone class. That is something that we have discussed in classes and just kind of how to use like AI and Chat GPT and stuff like that. I need a new battery for my mouse. Okay. I will drop that in the chat one more time, the link for the Creative Lounge. Join us. Even I'm telling you, you can't lose the amount of information in there and the playbacks that you can go watch. If you had, we did in, what was that, October? If you want whatever you wanted to know about all the ways to make shirts, we cover rhinestone, sublimation, Jet Pro 3G and like printable transfers, DTF, DTG, embroidery, screen print transfers, airbrushing. I think I said like patches. We covered, what was that? I think 15 different ways and understanding the pros and cons of them. On the All About DTF and the things that you need to know, I showed you exactly what they do when they're setting it up so you can understand how your design is set up, understanding like color. So we went through that. Like that October set of things was like really, really good. We went over breaking down like different design programs and what's the differences in them. I had which I need to actually make that up probably in February, where we're supposed to go over like the cutting machines. We have to go over, like we were going over, which I did a little bit, but we had to do like the full one and going, actually, no, we did the one where we went over websites. So if you're trying to figure out which platform, like which way was best for you, we kind of compare Etsy and like a standalone site like Shopify. And then we have another session where we're going to kind of like, just kind of look at some of the other ones like PayHip, Gumroad, Stand Store, and whether or not you want to do those versus like a full site. The difference, we talked about the difference between a landing page and a website. So these are all the types of conversations that we have in the Creative Lounge. It's more of a, rather than just be like a full-on class, it's meant to be more of like a relaxed one. And then we also have times where they just talk about frustrations and like, this is what I can't figure out and help me out through this. I'm trying to process this. Is this a good idea? Like these are all the things that we do in the Creative Lounge. Give it a try. $36.50, try it 1 month, no commitment. And after that, it will automatically remove access. So, and you don't have any commitment to pay anything else. Try it out for $36.50 for just 1 month. Okay. The card designing class is a separate class, right? That is on there. I know some of you guys are just finding me. The cost of it, has gone up. I told y'all that, get it while it was hot. Like when I drop a new class, y'all check y'all emails, get on those new classes. So I give you the best price when the class first drops and once it's live. Once I do the class and we now have all this information, all these resources in it, it costs you more for the playback than to get it. Even if you can't attend live, pay for the class when I drop it, because that's when you're going to get the best price. Once all the resources, information is in there, the value goes up and the price changes. So get it whenever you see me drop a class. If it's something that you're interested in, get it while the getting's good, because the price does go up. So the card designing class is where I broke down everything as it relates to designing. So what they got in the Creative Lounge. So our creative challenge was... Don't fall. Okay. Shoot, my hand got a cramp. So in the creative challenge, they actually made the cards. So we didn't go over design, because when you're in the Creative Lounge, you get an exclusive discount code for classes. So they were able to go in, click on their link, and you automatically get a discount on the classes, right? So it's not all inclusive. You don't get access to every single class I do in the Creative Lounge. It's more of it's a bridge between you kind of taking a class, and whether it was mine, somebody else's, you need hands-on, like you want some help. You want someone to answer your questions. And then we do have scheduled sessions where I provide just help and information. There's 2 of those sessions. We have technically 2 pro calls, a morning one and an evening one. And then we have a challenge every single month. Now, last year, those who came in, we had a design challenge every single week for like 2.5 months. But that I only do design challenges at the end of the quarter every single year. So now we just do a creative challenge. So I did not show them design. This file setup was provided for them in the group. So there's a file there. I taught them how to set up the template to have a perfect double-sided print, how to cut it. We also went over, I showed them how to create their own grid or template that's going to be a guide where they don't have to think about it and like find the measurement. If you had 10 cards to do, you're going to use this guide and cut it to where it's perfectly cut every single time. So I show whether I use this for Capri Sun labels, I use it for cards, anything with a straight edge. I'm able to use this when I'm not using like print and cut on the Cameo. Sometimes this is faster than the Cameo. So I showed how you can set up your own grid. I showed them how to set this up so they can print perfect every single time for perfect double-sided prints. That is what the creative challenge was, and I already provided the design. If you want to learn how to design, learn techniques on designing, learn about layout, composition, sizing, proportions, you then have to take the custom greeting card and candygram class, because that's a separate one. Now, if you join the Creative Lounge, you join the Creative Lounge first, and then you can go and you immediately use your discount to get that class. You can get a discount on Essentials of Silhouette Studio. And every like that's the and you also get discounts on products. So those who are in Creative Lounge, they have a standing discount code where all of our Sublimation ink, our Sublimation paper, they click on that, it's an automatic discount for them. So that's the perks of being in the Creative Lounge. Yeah, she say, plus we get exclusive discounts on everything. So there is a certain link for HS Ink products. There is a specific, like there's a certain link for classes, and then like any other resources like digital downloads, the digital downloads, digital downloads like fade bars, the color charts, any like, files and templates that I have, there's a discount code for that. So yeah, you get exclusive discounts all the way around when you're a part of the Creative Lounge. That rhymed again. Hey, I'm a lyricist, okay? The link for it is in the comment section, and it will be in the description. And it's in the chat, but I'll put it in the comment of this live video once we are done. All righty. It's 9:51. I got to go put a little one to bed because it is technically past his bedtime. His dad gave him a bath. I got to go put the little one to bed. So thank you guys so very much. This has been our Wednesday live. I no longer go live like I used to, like all the time. I may do Friday, maybe not. We did the one this one, and check that out. If you are someone that used Creative Fabrica, yes, it's a big thing now where it was a few people that were talking about their story of being sued because they were selling something that they got from Creative Fabrica on Etsy, and they didn't just get a cease and desist. They were like, no, we want damages. They like just skipped over the cease and desist, which one of the things I wanted to talk about was that normally happens with the smaller companies that aren't really making money off of their design anyway, because normally the bigger companies will give you an opportunity to not to just take it down, and they'll send you a cease and desist. These companies, and I even give them opportunity to just take it down, they just kind of like whoever this lawyer is, and it was the same lawyer to represent two different like IPs, and they immediately asked for money. I personally think, even though it was like that, I think it was a bunch of bullcrap, and I definitely would have went to court to fight it. But hey, that wasn't my case. And they didn't even ask like a cease and desist. Okay, take it down, give opportunity. They immediately went and say, hey, you have this, whatever. We want $1,000. We want $2,500. That was some bullshit. Like, I don't know who their representation was. They paid $800 for a lawyer. I don't know who your representation was, but that was a waste of $800. Because there's ways around that. But the smaller companies, a lot of them will just immediately go after damages. But normally, like, they will send a cease and desist, and you can go ahead, stop doing it, and then they normally don't take any further action. Like, okay, hey, just letting you know it's mine. Stop selling my stuff. You probably didn't know, and which because people did not know. I didn't know this or whatever, didn't know it was yours. Thank you for informing. Most people just go cease and desist. If you continue to sell it, then they go after like damages. Like if you knowingly sell it. I really wish I had the insight on that, because that person, like, are you really using it in commerce? Do you have a website where you're using it? How are you using it? Like, do you have it on your own website somewhere? How do I know that you did not put your stuff on there and now you're using it? Like, I just had a whole lot of questions about that. Like, I really wish like I had more information, because some people just be trying it. But we talked about that this morning. Go check that out. Because a lot of people are just like, there was no need to cancel your Creative Fabrica membership just because you did not like how they handled it and felt like they should have done more. They're not going to ever pay out a lawsuit because it is in their terms of service. And so I went back and forth with a friend of mine, and she's just like, well, that's deceiving how they have it on there. Well, that's you. That's you. That earnest is on you to go and read that. Well, we know that most crafters, and they're just hobbyists, they're not going to read it. Well, you're no longer a hobbyist. When you go and you put that stuff and you decide to have a business, you decide to monetize it, and you put that on Etsy, if you haven't been in a class like mine, where I really teach creative business, I don't just teach you to craft, like I teach you the warnings. And when we have creative business, I'm going over the things that you should be mindful of. We go over tax stuff, all sorts of things in our creative business. When you said you wanted to have a business, baby, you got to put your big girl panties on. You have nobody to blame. You decided to turn this into a business, and there are risks in business, and being sued is one of them. So I did not feel sorry for them. Okay, I'm saying you don't have the money, but you decided to sell it on an Etsy platform, and you did not make sure that all your ducks were in a row. That's why I despise the word craft business, because so many people just take the craft part and think that, oh, it's a business because I put a price to it, I'm monetizing, I'm making money, and they're never thinking about the risk and the consequences. This is why I always say, I teach creative business. I don't teach craft business, because there is no business in craft. Craft is something you do for, if they left it as a craft, that company would have never known. But the moment you put it on there, even if it's as a side hustle, whatever, you needed to make sure that you did your due diligence before you put that on a public platform. So I didn't feel sorry for them. But I talked about that this morning. So if you want to know about that, if you feel like you're at risk, you have used some things from Creative Fabrica, you need to figure out how to go and, determine if it's now images and whatnot is copywritten is really, really hard to tell. Now, trademarks, it's really, really easy to find those. Like, you just type it in, but the copywritten stuff is very like hard to find if they're not like a household name. So, but go check that out. A lot of great information in it. And at the end, I talk about, as a business, what you're supposed to do to protect yourself. So definitely go and check that out. Until next time, guys, have a great one. That video is on the Honestly Speaking, SPINKING YouTube channel. It's under live. So if you just go to it and go to videos, you're not going to find it. You have to go to the lives, or just do a search for Honestly Speaking copyright or Honestly Speaking trademark. It's going to come right up. All right, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace. Hush up, MJ. He repeated my closing.